folks, what the crap's going on? Heir of Carthage here, and yes, we are back at the beautiful fields of Nemetacina with Pontus versus Getae. I like both these factions. They're interesting. Like, I don't think that either one of them is like top tier powerhouse, but each one of them has a unique flavor that is kind of fun to play. Pontus is like that mix of Eastern and Greek. And then Getae is kind of like a little bit more skirmishy version of the barbarians that has to accomplish that by giving up a little bit of sword power. Not to say they don't have good swords, because they do. Noble swords are quite good. They're just not quite on the same par as Oathsworn. And then they require a lot more axemen and falxmen to get the job done than obviously your typical barbarian faction. We're going to see a noble horse and a spear horse out on either flank. And as far as the infantry component goes, I do see two noble swords back here in the back. There's going to be quite a number of mercenary axe warriors. These are just going to be kind of mid-tier infantry. Remember, axes have pretty low attack, but what they do is a lot of armor-piercing damage. Then we have falxmen, which are just big on the charge, and then fall apart quickly thereafter. We've got heavy spears, helping to protect 3 Dacian heavy bowmen. So that's going to be our Getae army, or Dacian army as I'll probably call them, just because I'm a old-timer from Rome 1. We've got Pontic Royal Cavalry here for Pontus, an interesting pick. That is a heavy shot cavalry. There's 2 of them. It's going to come with a brutal charge, but it'll be slightly less good in a prolonged melee, but again, very dangerous on the charge. Skirmishing, let's take a look. We got some Pontic Peltist up front. These are going to be, let's see if the ammunition's listed. Yeah, okay, so these are really high damage javelins. There's only 7, not like the light peltist, which comes with more javelins. So 3 Pontic Peltists. So Pontus is going to be limited in skirmish range, which is interesting because Pontus can be quite dangerous from range. They have some really nice options. I see some Eastern Spearmen and Thurio Spears on either flank. Thurio Spears are obviously going to be good at pushing back skirmish cavalry, dealing with cavalry, so that's why they're positioned on the flanks. There's going to be Pontic Swords up the middle. And we've seen these before. These are kind of pretty mid-tier type of swords. They're not going to do well against anything that's very hard-hitting. The general is in a scythe chariot, and this is a lot like an elephant unit. Very high risk, high reward. If it can wait till late in a game, it will absolutely mulch infantry. But if it takes a face full of javelins or some other skirmish fire, it will fall apart quite quickly. So if I had to look at these 2 armies, I mean, it's pretty clear to me that Dacia has the, they're going to have the melee infantry advantage. They're also going to have the skirmish range advantage here with the Dacian heavy bowmen. Where let's see how they stack up cavalry-wise. Pontus has these 3 horse skirmishers out here too. Those are going to be dangerous for the Dacians. It looks like though they caught some of them over here with some, I don't know if it was archers or some javelins or what. I think the Dacian horse or spear horsemen may have javelins. Can't remember if they do or not. No, they don't. Okay, it must have been some archers that caught them. But yeah, those horse skirmishers doing some nice work. They have very dangerous javelins, 41 damage. So it's very high damage. Nice baiting here to get that spear horseman near. So it looks like the Dacians want to get an early engagement. The chariots are actually quite a ways forward here. And then the Pontic Peltist end up getting caught out a little bit here. They're a little too far forward, so there was some micro going on elsewhere, and the Pontic player here got caught a little bit unawares, though. Now they're doing a good job of getting those Eastern Spearmen up there. Look at the Pontic Peltist having to fall back from the charge of these mercenary axe warriors and noble swords. Melee engagement this early is not going to be great for Pontus, but if they can be patient, maybe deal with these bows, they should be able to get those chariots and shot cavalry to work and do a lot of damage. But we'll see what happens. The Pontic Peltist here got chopped up pretty good. Nice flanking maneuver here. Pontus getting some Thurio Spears and swordsmen around the flank. However, this fight here is going to fall apart very quickly for those Pontic swords up against those nobles. So they're going to need to do something quickly. Let's take a look at this engagement. Some Eastern Spears had led the way for some Pontic swords into a noble horse and spear horse. Looks like a Thurio Spear coming to support that. I like that move. I mean, if the Pontic cavalry can kind of avoid these engagements for a while. Oh, check this out. Bam! Those falxmen. I would say they're going to feel that in the morning, but they're not going to live that long. Yikes! Those Pontic cavalry cut down 50 some odd falxmen in the charge. They do not have the armor to stand up to that. Noble Swords are going to intercept that flanking contingent, so nice catch by the Dacians there, who are getting pretty good value across the board so far. These Falxmen are going to get charged. These Pontic Cavalry are going to do a number here. And then the Scythe Chariots are getting things started. They've already got 56 kills, so the Dacians may be doing well in combat so far, but they're going to have to deal with those Chariots and Shock Cavalry, or else this battle could end quite quickly. The Noble Horsemen are going to catch these Peltists. That does leave them open to a charge from the Pontic Royal Cav, should they choose, but there is infantry nearby to counter that. Take a look at this flank. Those Thurio Spears, I don't know where they're going. They're being moved around the flank. So, let's see here. And Thurio Spears over here, good job. Chasing those Noble Horsemen, causing problems. So Pontus is definitely still in this fight, and so is Dacia for that matter. We'll see what happens. The bowmen are going to get hit by the Pontic Royal Cavalry. The Chariots are coming in for a second helping here. They got 73 on their first run. A lot of archers here, though. This is dangerous. If those archers... Ooh, yeah, they are definitely shooting at the Chariots. The Chariots are going to feel that. They're rather large targets. Those heavy spears are going to protect. They do have cavalry counter tactics, which has already been sprung, and the Chariots took some missiles. And then that cavalry counter tactic charge is going to impart some damage there. They're not braced, though. Ooh, yeah, the Chariots felt it. They lost another chariot there. Though they did get a ton of kills through that, like an absolute ton. They're up to 185. They sliced through that infantry. It cost them. Let's take a look at that Pontic Cavalry. If Pontus loses this Pontic Cavalry at this point, they might be done, because the Noble Swords will still be in the fight and still be pretty healthy. So Pontus needs to be careful here, because there are a lot of Dacians left. You can see that the Dacian infantry was more numerous, and in some cases just better than the Pontic infantry here. We're going to see those cavalry charging for those bows. That is a good call. Need to get those off the battlefield, but they'll want to watch out for javelins incoming. The Chariots are still moving, and they're being covered by their own Thurio Spears, so these Chariots are going to run through those spears and look for another target. Like right now, it looks like they're just trying to avoid combat. Another one went down right there, though. They are getting quite weak, so their hit points have been significantly impacted. Looks like the horse skirmishers are probably out of ammunition and just looking for any late-game action where they can be useful. See, that Pontic Cavalry has 192 kills. That is bananas. Really well done with that Shock Cavalry. Shock Cavalry is really dangerous if it's left to its element, which is hitting unbraced infantry. So, let's see that Chariot unit about to go down here. 202 kills, so nothing like crazy over the moon, but a pretty solid performance there. 202 kills. It depends on the value of the units they hit. That Royal Cavalry taking a little bit of damage now. They're down to 30 some odd units. There's 2 units of Noble Swords, one of which is quite healthy here. That is going to be a major problem for Pontus. There are a number of units left, though, so I would say that Pontus still has a prayer, and so does the Getae. Right now, this battle is riding pretty close, I think. It's going to depend on a few factors. Ooh, those heavy spears. That's a big problem right there for Pontus. In fact, that might be a game breaker for Pontus, taking that javelin volley. That last second cavalry counter tactics did not make it long enough, but it was a good effort there. Yeah, I actually think that javelin volley may have turned this battle over. Another cavalry counter tactics. We usually see the light spears from Getae in recent videos, and taking more expensive spears can be risky. In this case, it may have paid off because they had the javelins and the cavalry counter tactics. It doesn't save them from a charge of those Pontic Cavalry, but just look at this. Bonus versus large right now, 75 bonus versus large. That means when they hit, it's basically going to kill entities almost every time. And it does look like that is probably turning this battle in favor of the Getae, so they're going to pull this one off. And for those of you who think that the player with the red outline banners never wins, I think that's exactly what we're about to see here. This battle was fought, by the way, between Ronan and Wicked. Wicked is a moderator in my community, and Ronan is a Total War player, skilled player, and it's a fun match between them here. A little bit different army picks than we've seen recently, and very fun play here. I really like the use of these shot cav. I mean, they did a spectacular job. I don't think it's going to be enough to put them over the top, because there's a whole nother noble sword here. But really excellent work out of the shot cavalry from Pontus. And a nice work there by Dacia, kind of turning a tough situation there. Those cavalry were absolutely slaughtering them. And the quick turn of those heavy spears and a javelin toss was enough to basically take one of those royal cavalry out of the fight. And now this other one is going to suffer army losses here. They're forced to turn and charge. And it just won't be quite enough to save themselves. So in the end, the Dacians, or Getae, is going to take this one home. But again, epic battle there. I liked that one. It was very close. Definitely left me guessing until late in that one. So I appreciate Wicked and Ronan here for playing this one. Let's take a look at the key units for each player. Again, pretty decent performance from the chariots. They can certainly do more, but not bad, all things considered. Especially, there was a lot of dangerous units over there for the Getae. Nice performance from the shot cavalry. This makes sense when you look at this result. This is where Pontus was going to get their kills, was from these 3 units, and that's what we see. So not a huge surprise here in terms of where the kill performance lies. Though a decent performance from some of this Pontic sword, I think, did pretty darn well if it picks up a chevron and that many kills. If we take a look at the Getae side, the noble swords are going to be one of the key units in terms of getting kills, and in fact they were, so that was well done. A very good performance out of this Falxman for being such a cheap unit, and very good performance out of these Axemen as well. I think these probably had a chevron on them prior to the battle, but still a nice performance out of a mercenary axe unit. So again, well played to both players. Appreciate Wicked sending me this one over. Definitely appreciate him. He's been a part of my community for the longest time. He helps run the Discord. In fact, if you all want to find games and play Rome 2 with folks, come join the Discord server. We've got a room where you can come find folks to play with. We are happy to have you there. The link is in the description. You don't have to pay anything. You don't have to commit to anything. Just come join. Be a part of a fun community there that talks about Total War games and other things. So anyway, HeirofCarthage signing out for now. I'll see you all soon with some more action in Total War Rome 2.